What's up, everybody? Brother Bobby here with the Off-Grid Church, making another video about plate carrier setups and how I integrated my Mayflower chest rig to accommodate my plate carrier. If you're a do-it-yourselfer like I am, perhaps you might like this video because I basically had to jimmy rig this whole thing together. The way the plate carrier is it's not very versatile unless you have to get creative. And so in the end, it actually worked out exceptionally well. After running it and after testing certain things and how it fits, everything works pretty well. And not only that, but it also adds my character and blueprint on it, so to speak. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into how I set up this plate carrier and discuss the ins and outs of it all. Real quick, before we jump into the plate carrier setup video, Romans 13:1 states that we must obey and submit to the governing authorities. And every governing authority is set by God and placed there by the Lord and ordained by God. And it's important to understand as Americans that our governing authority is the Constitution. Your governing authority is not your governor, it's not the President of the United States, it's not law enforcement agencies or officers that tell you what to do. We got a taste of that in 2020 with the whole forced vaccination and wearing the mask thing. And I think a lot of Americans are tired of complying with unconstitutional laws and legislation. With that being said, the politicians who pass legislation and laws that go against the Constitution, and as well as the police officers or law enforcement agencies and officers that are enforcing said unconstitutional laws and legislation, it is them who are rebelling against Romans 13:1, because they're the ones who swore an oath to protect the Constitution, and they are breaking their oaths and they are in rebellion towards God and their country. We as Americans should stand up for what we believe in, and it's important to know that the Constitution is our governing authority. With that being said, take it with a grain of salt. So these are the SKD PIG Brigandine plate carrier bags for my plate carrier setup, I believe is what the name is called. These are around 20 years old, I want to say, the better of 20 years. With as well the Mayflower chest rig is very OG as well, so I love the actual vibes and looks that it lays off. But this plate carrier bag system is meant for low vis operations and covert, for guys that want to do, I think, security. They can wear this under jackets, is what it was meant for, because it comes with a loop front, and I'll go ahead and post a picture of it. So it's just all loop, very slimline, streamlined, and covert looking. So I went, and when I got these bags, my actually friend gave them to me, I didn't like them at first, but instead of jumping into the consumer mindset that most Americans are in, of just buying the next product and buying to fix their way out of problems, I decided, you know what, let me get creative and try to make this mine. And that's exactly what you're looking at here. I jimmy rigged this whole thing together, and we're just going to break down how I did that. So some of the items I did buy, these shoulder pads are from SKD. These are SKD shoulder pads, the new ones the newer generation of them. I got these on Black Friday on sale, and they're great. These are great shoulder pads. They're very thick, very comfortable, as well as, if I could bring the camera over here, these pads on the inside are called pontoons. As you can see, there's the pig sticker right there, but these pads on the inside are called pontoons, and I actually like these better than a lot of other padding systems out there from other plate carriers, because the other plate carriers will mainly come with like a mesh inside, which is nice, it's breathable and it's comfortable, but these actually provide like an air pocket off the body for airflow to actually roll in here really nicely, which I like. So I actually love the pontoon padding system, this is called, for the PIG plate carrier. And I picked these up on Black Friday too. So with that, I did buy that from SKD to add more comfort to it. But you can strip these shoulder pads off, which I've ran at the range with it like that, and they're very comfortable, especially if you're going to wear like an assault pack over your plate carrier. I would want to take these shoulder pads off if you're going to run like an assault pack over, because then you're stacking nylon and then you add your sling and it's just nylon on nylon on nylon, and I'm not a fan of that. Love the shoulder pads, love the pontoons inside, give it a lot of comfort. So this front molle panel right here, this is a 511 molle placard. It's just laser cut molle with hook on the back. So that's hook. And it just sticks right to the loop front of the plate carrier. And I cut it on the sides to match the plate carrier. Now, over down here wasn't long enough, so there's still some loop exposed here, which I don't like because, you know, if you're going prone or getting muddy, you know, it's going to get really dirty, which is another reason why I added the laser cut molle kind of panel here, is because I wanted the loop to be protected. And that gave me also a lot of ability to mount my push-to-talk right here. My friend who gave me this plate carrier had the inside on the loop right here. He had some loops kind of sewed into the front panel to allow for the G-hooks right here. And I just cut a hole through the molle and I pulled the hooks through, and now I have my G-hooks hooked on there. So the chest rig is suspended off of the G-hook, as well as the small little Velcro loop that the Mayflower has onto the Velcro at the bottom, because the molle panel doesn't go all the way to the bottom. It stops halfway, so you can still attach any sort of placard that you want. And I have ran other placards with this. I have the Spiritus Mark V placard, and you know, it's nice, but I do like, this is my main chest rig, so I like that I can just throw this main chest rig onto the plate carrier and everything stays the same. I already talked about the chest rig in the last videos you guys have seen, but I did miss a few things that I'll just get out the way while we're talking right now. Is that in this pocket, I actually have a multi-tool in here. And then in this pocket, I have a paint can opener, which I don't know who put me onto this, but I was watching a YouTube video and I seen some dude running this, and I thought, man, that's a good idea. And I actually pulled out a stuck casing just for practice, and this works phenomenal. So I have that fast access until I do run into a jam. At least this is up front right here where I can get out to and pull a stuck casing out, which I forgot to talk about in the last video, as well as probably some other things I'm missing. But here's my comm setup. So when I'm running with a team or a squad, I'm running comms. And so the last video you've seen, I had just running a balaclava on here. Well, now this is my comm setup, where I would have the bungee retention holding the radio system, and then pulling the radio out. Behind the flap here is just another 30-round magazine. And that's just the perfect kind of size that keeps the radio from not having too much slop inside by itself. And that is how I run my comms, which is kind of, the cable is right now is just kind of lassoed up here with a bungee retention and some Velcro strap, kind of just lassoed in. That way it gives me the ability to, if I want to pull this out in front of me, I could have some extra slack in here that I could pull apart. And that's my cable management as of right now. It's not perfect. Still running with it. Still kind of getting new to comms. So definitely want to break down the comm setup as well. This is a unit I got off of Amazon for around $50, and it just hooks up to the Howard lights and turns it into a great push-to-talk comms setup here, which I think is so underrated. And I'll post the link in the description, so you guys, if you guys have Howard lights, I highly recommend this setup. And it comes with the push-to-talk as well, and this is a nice robust push-to-talk, nice positive click with a very durable heavy metal clip with some teeth on it that really bites down and doesn't move around a lot. What else do we have here? So yeah, basically jimmy rig that molle panel, cut it out to length, and put that on there to give myself some more capability of attaching things. Now I have a nice admin light too that I added on here. This is a Surefire headlamp, and I just added that on here on the molle clip, and this just gives me a nice admin light. See, that's blue, and there's different levels: high, low, medium, and then there's also white. So now I can be hands-free and have a little admin light, which it would have been perfect if it was white and red instead of white and blue. But it fits the role nicely, and found a nice placement, and it doesn't impede in my magazine changes for these. That was one thing I was worried about, but it clears, so I'm able to reload, and it doesn't bump or anything like that. It doesn't get in the way. How this plate carrier attached was through the TRex arms. I think it's called the Y stripe. Not the Y stripe, the Y strap. As you can see here, it looks like a Y. And that gave me the ability now to just run the chest rig on the plate carrier, which actually he's the one who kind of started all of that. That's why he created this product. And so that now this is the main fact that it allows me to actually hook up the chest rig. And TRex Arms talks about this on his website. He makes a whole video of how you do this. So if you guys want to check out more about that, just hit up his website, I guess. He does a better job of it than I do. Now the back of it is where it really gets interesting, is that I have a whole kind of panel that I rigged on here. So this is a back panel that I kind of jerry-rigged on here of this plate carrier. This is a 511 pouch that I have mollied on another laser cut sort of molle placard like the front you've seen. And I cut it because there's a loop filled on the back of the plate carrier, and I just slapped that on there. And then added a Mayflower hanger underneath that and slapped the molle over it so it's holding it together. And then I mollied on this 511 GP pouch. It's like a 6" by 9" horizontal GP pouch, which holds a lot of stuff. And for reference, for example here, I could fit a whole 32-ounce Nalgene bottle in here with, I mean, the bottle's like right here. So you could fit almost 2 of these in here with MRE or whatever. And also an entire gas mask fits in here as well. Zip it all up, and so you can get an idea of all the things that you can put in here, which makes it nice. And when I'm not running anything, it's flat, and you can get in and out of vehicles, you can sit down, everything's flat, doesn't impede on anything, doesn't make it harder to get out of vehicles, doesn't hurt your back because everything lays flat. And the cool thing about this whole system is that since it's hooked up on the molle laser cut on the back, you can literally pull this entire system off. And there's your back panel. Just comes completely off. Laser cut molle. Laser cut molle here. I cut it out to fit the size of this loop backfilled. So it just kind of slaps on there, stays in place. And you can see here, shove the hanger right on there, loop filled on the hook on the back, and then it just kind of, see that right there, just kind of sticks to it. And then you can pull it off and then run it completely slick if you want to do that, and then throw in a salt pack over that if you want to have some different, versatility options there, which is how I jimmy rigged this whole thing together. Underneath as well, I ran my back strap that hooks up into the Y strap adapter. I ran it underneath the loops of the molle so it doesn't move around, it stays the same. And that way, when I actually wear the rig, the strap kind of stays in line, it doesn't move around, and it's easy to get to. When I throw the plate carrier on, I know where the strap's always going to be at. It's going to be in the same spot, and I leave the left side hooked in all the time. So that way I can just slide myself through the right side, which is my dominant side anyways, and buckle it in on the right side, which makes it a lot easier. And this one just stays always on here. And that way, when I put the plate carrier on, this is always just kind of dangling, and then I reach behind and plug it in, and it's plug and play. Everything's ready to go. So this is my plate carrier setup. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it gave you some do-it-yourself projects to customize your own plate carrier and make it your own instead of going out and buying a whole nother plate carrier setup and spending more money like Americans love to do. I believe if King David had a more comfortable armor set when he was fighting Goliath, I believe that he probably would have wore that. But I think that the plates that they had, or the armor protection that they had, would have impeded on his slingshot momentum. And that definitely is the case with a lot of plate carriers and plates, as far as the ones that I use in the military too, that were really bulky and just heavy and just in the way. When you go to shoulder your rifle, you're hitting a plate, and it's just like all kind of awkward and changes the whole dynamic of how you fight and shoot. But these plates are also, I forgot to mention, HESCO L210s, which is, I think, the perfect plate for most civilians out there. And I think that if you can wear plates into a gunfight, you should, so that you don't tempt the Lord your God. And what I mean by that is that, the devil told Jesus, throw yourself off this mountaintop and the angels of the Lord will catch you. And Christ responded and said, "Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God." And it's kind of similar to like if David would walk into the battlefield against Goliath with no slingshot, no stones, and just expect God to do everything for you. God's not going to do that. He's not going to spoil his children, because we all know what this country's turned out to be. I think a lot of spoiled kids are now ruining this country, and we've seen what that's turned out to be. So by expecting God to do everything for you, you're tempting the Lord God, and you're trying to manipulate, and it's just not going to work in the end. So I believe that plates are important. I still do like the chest rigs more. I feel like I have more mobility. But especially for urban areas, or if you're willingly walking into and knowingly going into a gunfight, I think it's probably best to throw on some plates for some protection. It's not to say that you don't have enough faith. It's just to say that I have plates. I have some form of protection. They're comfortable. They're lightweight. I see why not kind of attitude towards it all. So I'll go and end the video with that. I will close out and show you how I stage all of this equipment as well. Into my Pelican style case, that everything all goes in, and it's important to stage your gear as well, so that everything's ready to go and you know where everything's at. Thank you guys for watching. I ask of you guys, if you enjoyed this video, to please hit the subscribe button and to like and comment. Really helps the channel out as I'm just starting out. The Lord says, ask and you shall receive. I know that's not in the context of this, but I do ask of you guys to please consider subscribing, so it gives me motivation to push out more content and things like that. So this is a case by 511. I'll show you right here. You can see 511 tactical case is basically a knockoff of the Pelicans, and these are well built, I might add. These are very sturdy, and they've been good to me. So that is my storage case in which I will stage my equipment. And I'll just show you guys right here. So obviously plate carrier setup, just gonna go right in like that. Gear Pro off to the side, and now you have your plate carrier with your Mayflower chest rig. My battle belt is also squeezed right here, folded in with extra mags obviously attached. There's my gas mask on top. Holster, my Surefire ALS holster that locks into my mid-ride on the belt. And everything kind of rides just like that in there. Underneath all of this is my T3 pack, headlamp that I forgot to put in the pocket, GP pouch on top. And as well, this little pouch just contains 2 MREs and snacks in here. Up top up here, I added some Velcro adhesive. And on this pouch right here, this just stores my my Mayflower harness, so that when I am just running the chest rig, I will pull it off the placard, off the G-hooks, I mean, off the plate carrier, and run it with the harness. And in these pouches up here, I just have some extra iPro. In here, my balaclava. And these are just things that I would take out of that GP pouch, right? So these are our own dedicated GP pouches up here. So if I want to take out comms, and I'll substitute with a balaclava on there, or on the bottom here, I have a water filtration Sawyer filter that I would put in the elastic loop on front of the Mayflower. As well as a fire starting kit and some water decon tablets to decontaminate water. That's just all I keep in there, and everything just sits nice in there, staged and ready to go. Now this does not stay in my vehicle, right? I just put it in here for the sake of the video, but at least wherever it's at, whether it's in my house or transporting into a vehicle, it's staged and everything is ready to go like that. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and to catch you guys on the next one. Brother Bobby, over and out.